What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and this is my Dreametech T30. And if you're watching this video, then your Dreametech T30 probably is a little bit dirty, or perhaps has lost suction. And this video should hopefully help you to fix your machine, clean it up, and get it back up to tip-top shape. Now the nice thing about the Dreametech T30 is that this service video will not require any sort of tools, no screwdrivers, no, well, anything. Just maybe some cleaning solution if you need that, potentially something like a broom to poke through any potential clogs, again if applicable, or just two classic hands with some bendable phalanges. Now, if you don't have hands, then you probably have someone who hopefully started this video for you, and hopefully you're not using it with your tongue. And if you are, then I would not recommend cleaning the vacuum with your tongue and getting someone to help you do this service. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to mainly take apart and clean up the power head assembly, as well as the main unit, empty the bin, access the filters, and all that good stuff. Now, if you have any blockages in any of your tools, then clearing them out is going to be pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want to push something through, like a coat hanger that's been straightened, and clear out the clog. So that should be simple enough. If you have anything visibly stuck in one of these attachments, just check through and make sure you don't have anything stuck in them. That would include the dusting brush, the crevice tool, the mini motorized power brush, which I have, but for some reason even though I just found it the other day, I misplaced it, so I can't show that right now, or the wand. And any of the other small tools would be just as applicable. We can see light through this, so that's not clogged. So all of that is okay. So once you've gotten that cleared out, again, if applicable, and you still haven't had any resolution as far as your machine working properly, or you just want to have it cleaned up so it's nice and sparkly and not all whatever this is, then feel free to continue. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some disinfecting wipes. At least I think I have some. I probably should have checked before this video. Right here. So you can use these to clean everything up, or failing that, if you have a microfiber towel or even just some paper towels with some sort of cleaner, if you only have a little bit of dust in your machine, something like Windex or any sort of basic multi-purpose cleaner or all-service cleaner will work just fine. And if you have a lot of stuck-on dirt, you could use a more chemical-based harsh cleaner like Zep Industrial Purple Degreaser, which is generally one of my favorite cleaners. But if you do use something like that, there's also other options like Crud Cutter. If you use any of those as a cleaning agent, you want to make sure to use gloves, or at the very least wash your hands after any sort of exposure, because it's degreaser, it will basically degrease your fingers as well, the oils on your hands, and it will burn and not feel the best. In my experience, it doesn't actually burn your hands per se, but it's not very good for you. So you definitely want to wear gloves if you're wanting to use a more powerful cleaner. But if you're just using disinfecting wipes, or if you're just using Windex or a more basic cleaner on a paper towel or on a microfiber towel, then you shouldn't need to worry about that. But still wash your hands once you're done with all this. So again, for my example, I'm going to use disinfecting wipes. So I'm going to pull one of these out and set it aside for when we need it. Alright, so we're going to do the power head last. First thing we're going to look at is the unit. Now, of course, if you've been using the Dreametech, you should have suction. And if you get it clogged, it will actually tell you that it's clogged. Okay, I thought it would. It's done it before where it tells me the airways are blocked. I guess that time it didn't want to. But if you get a message that says the airways are blocked, then yeah, you're going to have to clear that out. So, to empty this, there's a gray button right here. You just press it, and it pops open. It actually springs open pretty good. And you just want to dump this into your trash. A lot of debris can get stuck up on this screen in between this little guard here. So I personally will close this up. And there is a little clip right here that we can just move out of the way, and that'll allow us to pull the bin right off. So now we can set this aside, and now we have the entire bin assembly. So right in here we have our filter, So this just pops out. This is washable, or you can also just vacuum it off. You can see the cyclones are actually pretty effective on this because I've vacuumed with this for a long time. I've used this for a long time, and the filter only has minimal dust and staining on it. Here are the cyclones. You can pull this out and wash out the cyclone pack, but you want to make sure to let it dry for at least 48 hours. It says 24, but I recommend 48. You can pull up this little tab right here and give it a twist counterclockwise, and once you unlatch it, just give it a wiggle, and this entire assembly comes out. And now if you want to wash the bin, you can do that. Although if you do wash the bin, be careful of these contacts. Try not to get them wet. I personally just put a piece of tape on it, so that way you don't get any moisture in there. And if there's any clogs in here, you want to make sure to clear that out as well. Make sure you can see through it. And all that good stuff. So again, here's your cyclone. If you do wash this out, you want to wash out this part right here. A lot of dust can get stuck in here. It's very similar to a Dyson with the way that this works. Now, me personally, I don't like to actually completely soak the cyclone, so I will usually just wipe the shroud down with a disinfecting wipe, and it's got a little handle, so that works. And just wipe this down, get this clean. You can see there's some dust that'll settle on it. But this is, in my opinion, a lot better than actually getting it wet, because, well, it is getting wet, but then actually submerging it, because this will dry a lot more quickly. And I'll also get this in there and clean all that out. You can see a lot of crud on the inside of this cyclone. There's definitely some stuff inside the holes as well, but that shouldn't be a big deal as long as you don't have any issues with odors. And I'll wipe off the top of it as well. And that'll usually take care of that. Now for me personally, probably not recommended, but I just wipe off the filter as well. But again, probably not recommended, but you can do it. But you can also just wash this filter. But again, I find the cyclonic separation on this machine to be really good. So it's not like there's hair or anything that gets stuck in here. So I just wipe it off, and it does fine. So let all of these pieces dry for, I recommend letting these dry for at least 3 hours before putting them back in. Or you can honestly just wipe it off with a towel and be done with it. Now again, same story with the bin. Wipe off the outside of the bin. A lot of dust can get on the seals. Just wipe that off. Wipe out the inside of it. Get it all nice and sparkly. Again, I'll usually fold this on itself so I'm not wiping that dirt back onto the machine. Of course, we can pop that open and wipe down the base of the bin and the inside of it as well. And that'll make that all nice and sparkly. Looks great. So set that aside. And while we're here, I'll fold my wipe in on itself once more. Just like that. And I'll actually wipe down the outside of the machine, because if it sits for a while, it can get a little bit dusty. And it can look a little gross after a while. Again, if you do wipe this off, you definitely want that to dry, because that's the motor intake. So again, I'm just wiping all this down, because again, this is all stuff that you touch. You don't want it to be dirty. You don't want to be carting germs back and forth. So all of that's taken care of. I'm actually just going to let all this dry while I work on the power head. So, and of course, while you're here, you can also wipe off the attachments as well if you so choose, like this very pretty light crevice tool and soft dusting brush. Again, I like to wipe off the connectors because dust can get in this little groove right here, just like it can on the Dysons. And now we'll look at the power head. Again, dust gets in this little groove right here, so I like to wipe that out You want to check this hose, make sure there's no splits or anything in this hose. If there is, you're going to need to replace your cleaner head. I don't believe the hose can be purchased separately. I will also wipe off the wheels, because again, you don't want any dust or grime or stickiness getting on those wheels. And especially if you have sand or anything like that, you don't want that to get stuck on the wheels, because those can scratch your bare floors and the machine as well. So again, just wiping, you can see how much stuff comes off on these wheels. These wheels really do get gross. You can see how gross these wheels get after an extended period of time. And if you think about it, you know, these wheels are black, so it's hiding all this dirt. If these were white, it'd be a lot more obvious. So you want to wipe off these wheels, because again, they get very grody. You wouldn't believe how grody these wheels get. And just the whole bottom of the machine as well. And just wipe all this off. Wipe off this little felt seal. Again, wipe off this wheel. Just like that. Now there's two little small wheels up front. I'm going to wipe these off as well. Just wipe off this whole bottom plate. And get the top of it. See, now this is starting to get, this rag is starting to get very dirty, so I'm gonna swap it out. Once we're done with this, wipe off the sides as well. Again, all this touches your floor, all this touches your furniture, so you don't want this to be all gross. Alright, this is gross, so we're gonna chuck that and get another one. And I'm gonna show you how to clean out the brush roll and the brush roll housing. There's a little dial right here. We just twist this. Twist this counterclockwise. And this little end pops off. And we can wipe this off. I'm going to grab another wipe. Of course, the wipes fell out of the little guide that they're supposed to be in. Alright. So, maybe I'll angle this towards the floor a little bit more so it's easier to see. So again, I just wipe all the dust off this. A lot of dust can collect on this little end cap here. There's no bearings in this, so you could wash it if you wanted to. But I'm just going to wipe it off. And that should do the trick. And now we can see our brush roller. We do have our one bearing. You want to make sure this spins freely. If it doesn't, then you may need to change that bearing, which you can do. So this brush roller just slides out. Just like that. We can see how gross. Again, these bristles are supposed to be red. And these are just black with all sorts of dust. And I'm going to wipe just the edge of this bearing off. Shouldn't hurt it. So I'm going to wipe this off in the direction of these grooves. Again, you can see how gross this gets. You don't want to wash this brush roller because it has that bearing. Again, we're just going to scrub this. Again, you can see that difference there. Look at how gross that is. It's insane how dirty this gets. You can see before and after. Very gross. Give this a good scrubby wubby. All the way down the length of the brush roller. My autofocus is freaking out. It's a little discolored. And we can see all that junk that is coming off. So I'm going to flip this around, hold this in on itself. That's actually underneath now. And finish cleaning, finish cleaning this side up. And get that side now. And clean off the brush roller. So these brushes are starting to get frizzed and frayed a little bit. So this is more of like a nylon, this is more of a soft brush. So that's this isn't gonna clean up as well without looking a little matted, but gotta get it clean. Okay. Much better. It smells a lot better. And now we're going to clean out this. I'm going to clean out this little section right here. And the inside of this gets a lot of dirt and dust just caked in there. And just wipe that out. Again, very gross. It's now starting to run out of wipe again. These combs do get some stuff stuck in them, and we're going to wipe off this cover, this clear part of the housing. Some dirt in there. Again, that's very dirty now. And my hands are very dirty now as well. So it's not perfect. I could run over it a few more times to make it perfect, but I think you get the rough idea. So I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. It's all this gross yuckiness. And we're going to put everything back together. Alright, so now that that's taken care of, we're going to go ahead and put this back together. So we're going to take our brush roller, and the side with the little weird thingy is going to go inside here. Just going to slide that in. Just like that. It just pushes down, kind of twists into place. And we're going to take our end cap. We're going to line this up. Again, so once we line up this arrow with the unlock icon, or this little dot with the unlock icon, push it down until it clicks, and then twist it clockwise until it clicks into the lock position, and where this little groove, this little divot, is flush with this part. And now your brush roll should be back in, and it should be spinning freely. Much better. So now that we've got that, we already know the wand works, so I'm not going to bother to show that, but I will put the rest of this together and show it working. So we're going to grab our bin, close it up, again make sure everything's dry. We're going to slide the cyclone back in. So right here, where this little tab is, we're going to press it down into this groove right here. Make sure it's pressed in on both sides. We're going to twist it. Now, sometimes it doesn't like to go in properly. There we go. Okay, it wasn't pushed in all the way, so you want to make sure that is flush. Make sure that is flush. There should be a gap right there. And make sure it's pushed down all the way. Sometimes it's easier with the bin open. Make sure that's down. And twist that until it clicks into place. And that squishes down. Not squishes, but that pushes down like that. And there should be a gap on either side. Take your filter with the light part facing the bottom and pop that in just like that. Grab your motor assembly, hook it on to this top portion right here, and push it in until it clicks into place. There we go. Now our vacuum is back together. Perfect. And if we attach the power head, I'll show you the power head's working. So power head's working. And of course the attachments working as well. So that is the full Dreametech T30 maintenance guide. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. This was Intellitech. Let me start that over. This was Intellitech Studios signing out. I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like it and consider hitting the subscribe button and potentially the bell as well to see more content from myself in the future. Anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out. Have a good one. Peace.